Shalom, shalom, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is Sister Yehudah with another edition of the Sabbath class on the beautiful Sabbath day. And we welcome you all to our class. All of those that are in the listening audience who have been listening to us, we thank you for listening and supporting. We welcome you. We invite you. Come to the class, study with us, learn with us, so that we'll be able to know the God that we serve and enjoy each other and be ready, to meet him when the time comes. So we just want to say shalom, shalom to you guys, and welcome to the class. Again, for those who are listening for the first time, and this is your first time here, welcome. What we'd like to say to you is that if you have any background noise on your phone or in your house or anything, please put your phone on mute so we don't have to mute you, and then enjoy the class. So I think this is great. So we're going to start with Jubilees chapter 2 because I don't think we got this on tape the other day, but I'm going to put this on here now. Very important thing that we found out in Jubilees chapter 2 is Jubilees chapter 2, 17 through 24. And let's see, it says, verse 17, and he gave us a great sign, the Sabbath day, that we should work 6 days, but keep Sabbath on the seventh day from all work. And all the angels of the presence and all the angels of sanctification, these two great classes, he has bidden us to keep the Sabbath with him in heaven and on earth. And he said unto us, behold, I will separate unto myself a people from among all the peoples, and these shall keep the Sabbath day. And I will sanctify them unto myself as my people, and will bless them as I have sanctified the Sabbath day. And do sanctify it unto myself, even so will I bless them, and they shall be my people, and I will be their Elohim. Verse 20. And I have chosen the seed of Yaakov, that's Jacob, from among all that I have seen, and have written him down as my firstborn son, and have sanctified him unto myself forever and ever, and I will teach them the Sabbath day, that they may keep Sabbath thereon from all their work. And verse 21, and thus he created therein a sign in accordance with which they should keep the Sabbath with us on the seventh day, to eat and to drink and to bless him who has created all things, as he has blessed and sanctified unto himself. A peculiar people above all people, that they should keep Sabbath together with us. 22. And he caused his commands to ascend as a sweet savor, acceptable before him all the days. 23. And there were 22 heads of mankind from Adam to Jacob, and 22 kinds of work were made unto the Sabbath day, the seventh day. This is blessed and holy, and the former also is blessed and holy, and this one serves with that one for sanctification and blessing. It says, and to this, Jacob and his seed, it was granted that they should always be blessed, and holy ones of the first testimony and law, even as he has sanctified and blessed the Sabbath day on the seventh day. All right. Any questions? So we know Jubilees chapter 2 verifies the fact that when we keep the Sabbath, they're keeping it in heaven as well.
Wow. Sister Yehudah, I missed the chapter and verses. I'm sorry.
It's Jubilees chapter 2, 17 through 24.
Thank you.
Anybody else have a comment, question? So it's just not an ordinary day that you just choose not to keep or choose to keep. When we do it, the heavens are doing it as well. All right, so now we're moving into the Feast of First Fruits. Here we go. These are the Feast of First Fruits. All right, now we're in Jubilees chapter 6, and this is 17 through 23. Somebody said, Jubilees? Where's that book at? I've never heard of the book of Jubilees. Can somebody tell them where they can find the book of Jubilees?
Apocrypha.
What do you say now, sis?
The Apocrypha.
Now, what is the Apocrypha? I don't understand. What does that mean?
I just heard that it's filled with the books that they've taken out of the Bible that most Christians have in the church. It's like
They're lost books.
Or the hidden books.
Okay, so if I didn't know anything about it, because we have people on here that know nothing about it, and I'm like, I don't understand the Book of Jubilees. Is this a new book or something that you're reading from? Give me some background detail. What do you mean? What Bible was it in? When did it first appear in the Bible? Was it ever in the Bible?
It was in the Jubilees in the 1611.
Oh, everybody's talking now. One person, go for it.
The Apocrypha was originally in the 1611 King James. Some of those books are in there. However, at the Council of Narcissus, that's when Rome determined which books really fit their agenda. And so other ones that went into greater detail, they felt like those weren't canon books, and they felt like those were more along the lines of personal aspect instead of divine word, so to speak.
Okay, so you say that in the book of in the Council of Nicaea, they decided which books were to go into the Bible, right? Now, if that's the case, we fast forward to 1611, then those books had to already be in there. So
in the original 1611, there were some of the apocryphal books listed. On the New King James Version, those books have dropped off, but not all of the books of the Apocrypha were in 1611.
Okay. So what happened in 1611 to take the books that were in there out? How did they get out? I'm doing this because
I think that had something to do with King James. Because there was a lot of political things going on at the time, and word is that King James was actually a Moor, which means a black king, and they said he was homosexual and all these other things, and so to discredit him, and I think, quite honestly, there was too much information that could potentially identify who we were, and so from a political aspect, Rome took them out.
Okay, that's good information. Anybody else? Okay.
Yes. Can I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
If you're reading, even though you're reading your Bible today in the King James Version, a lot of times we don't even recognize it. But it will tell us over in the Old Testament, in books like Numbers and Kings and First Chronicles or Second Chronicles, it will mention it, say wasn't it written in the book of Jubilee? Wasn't it written in the book of Jasper? Wasn't it written in all these books? And those books, it tells us that those books are there, but it was not in the Bible, but it mentioned those books as we read those books out of the Old Testament.
Okay. That's true. That's a very good point. I think Sister Sanaya did a research study about the lost books of the Bible, and she does have that information available. Maybe before our class is over, she can tell us how many books are actually missing. Don't have to do it now. If you can, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
All right, Jubilee. Go ahead.
There's a Bible that is called the Lost Books of the Bible of the Great Rejected Text. It's about Joseph P. Lumpkin, and he writes all about. He got all the books that was taken out of the King James Version, and they are put it here in this whole Bible. It's all the books that you need right here, and it's called the Lost Books of the Bible, the Great Rejected Text, and it's by Joseph P. Lumpkin, and it explains everything to you in each book, how it was taken out, and they got the Bible right here.
Okay. Why don't you put that in the chat, and then we'll go from there. But yes, so we know this for those people who are new, and this is the first time that you've ever been here. We're not reading out of anything that wasn't in the Bible. These, if you were to buy a 1611 King James Bible, these books were in there. If you go to your library, your local library, most of them have a King James 11 Bible, the original Bible, and you'll be able to see these books already associated with them. Now, they have separated these books, and you can buy the Apocrypha separate now, but they were all together condensed in one Bible at one time. So we don't want you to think we're reading something off the wall that we just came up with. Because believe me, we're on our way to the Bible. So I just want to make sure that. All right, Jubilee chapter 6, verse 17 to 23. 17. It says, "For this reason it is ordained and written on holy tablets that they should celebrate the Feast of Weeks in this month once a year to renew the covenant every year." It says 18, "And this whole festival was celebrated in heaven from the day of creation till the days of Noah, 26 jubilees and 5 weeks of the year." Watch. "And Noah and his sons observed it for 7 jubilees and 1 week of years till the day of Noah's death. And from the day of Noah's death, his sons did away with it until the days of Abraham, and they eat blood." Wow. And that's why I don't like, the concept of the church, because they want to make you believe that Abraham just came up out of the blue, out of the Chaldees, out of nowhere, and God said, "Abram." And the drums was playing, and then he said, "Yes, Lord." And he said, "Go." That is not how it happened. Abraham knew who the God of Shem was because Noah told him. Shem, his great-great-grandfather told him. So there wasn't anything new. When he introduced himself to Abraham, it was just an introduction to Abraham to let him know that I have chosen you and your seed. But it wasn't anything new like they try to tell you in church. All right, here we go. 19. "But Abraham observed it, and Isaac and Jacob and his children observed it up to thy days. And in thy days the children of Israel forgot it until ye celebrated anew on this mountain." Watch. Verse 20. "And do thou command the children of Israel to observe this festival in all their generations for a commandment unto them. 1 day in the year, in this month, they shall celebrate the festival." 21. "For it is the Feast of Weeks and the Feast of First Fruit. This feast is twofold and of a double nature, according to what is written and engraved concerning it, celebrated." 22. "For I have written in the book of the first law, in that which I have written for thee, that thou shouldst celebrate it in its season. 1 day in the year, and I explained to thee its sacrifices, that the children of Israel should remember and should celebrate it throughout their generations in this month, 1 day in every year." Verse 23. "And on the new moon of the first month, and on the new moon of the 4th month, and on the new moon of the 7th month, and on the new moon of the 10th month are the days of remembrance and the days of the seasons in the 4 divisions of the year. These are written and ordained as a testimony forever." Anybody have any questions? So Noah and his family celebrated these feasts up until the fact that Noah died. And then they didn't do it anymore. And then Abraham picked it back up. And Isaac and Jacob celebrated it until they left. And then the children of Israel didn't do it anymore.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that what you said earlier about these books being in the original 1611 Bible, it shows that the church is just an extension of Rome, because we wouldn't be reading these scriptures right now had we not broken away from the church and understand what's being kept from.
That's true.
Right.
Actually, the lost books was a book that was rejected at the Council of Nicaea, and the apocryphal books are the books that was taken out of the King James Bible.
Right, exactly. That's the order. But yes, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. It's just amazing. And it's a lot of things that are in here. And it's getting excited. The closer we get to this time, and the more we know about the Most High, the more we understand that these things are on earth as it is in heaven. in the kingdom as it is in heaven. So like you said, what's so wicked about it is we're celebrating these feasts and they're celebrating them in the heavens, but they're not celebrating any of the holidays or the other stuff and the Christmases and the Thanksgivings and the whatever we do, we're supposed to be doing it as they do it in heaven. That's why we were chosen on the earth to do it on the earth. We are the representatives on this earth to mirror what they're doing in the kingdom.
Yeah, example of that is 1 Kings chapter 22 with Micah, verse 19.
Well, go ahead. When Micah was when he was seeing the vision of the heavenly court.
Right. He prophesied in Ahaz. He says, 18, the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, did I not tell thee that he would prophesy no good concerning me, but evil? And he said, hear thee now. Therefore, the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all his host of heaven standing by him on the right hand and on the left.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. That's one of my favorite passages. You're absolutely correct. You know, that no matter what happens, we're the representatives of Yah on the earth. That's why when we out of sync, everything's out of sync.
Out of sync. Oh, yeah. Wow. And we are out of sync.
He said the whole earth is off course. Why? Because the people that he chose to represent him is out there. We're out of our place. We're out of our land. We're out of our culture. We're out of everything. We're sitting in these lands of captivity.
Fallen angels got that.
Say again?
Fallen angels caused that. They didn't want to throw everything off course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we have a responsibility. That's why it's important, even in our captivity, that we do the best we can to keep these going.
So is that why the earth is showing its, I guess, groaning pains?
Yeah. What did it say? The earth is waiting for the manifestation of what? The sons of Yah?
Yeah.
They're waiting on us.
Hallelujah. That's right.
I mean, we're the ones he chose to represent him on the earth. And then the church get mad because they say, no, it's the church, but you're not doing these feasts. You don't even acknowledge these feasts. So it can't be you. According to Jubilees, they are observing this feast in the heavens. It said from the day of creation, they were keeping this feast right here. And because we don't keep it, we're throwing everything off. And then the church wants to be the people, but you don't keep it either.
Right.
All right, here we go. First fruits. It's just a land of wheat. We're going to Leviticus chapter 23, verse 9 through 15. Leviticus chapter 23, verse 9 through 15. Verse 9. And the Most High spake unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye be come into the land which I give unto you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, then ye shall bring a sheaf of the first fruit of your harvest unto the priest. Verse 11. And he shall wave the sheaf for the Most High, to be accepted for you. On the morrow after the Sabbath, the priest shall wave it. 12. And ye shall offer that day when ye wave the sheaf a he-lamb without blemish of the first year for a burnt offering unto the Most High. Verse 13. And the meat offering thereof shall be 2/10 deal of fine flour mingled with oil, and offering, made by fire unto the Most High for a sweet savor, and the drink offering thereof shall be of wine, the fourth part of a hin. Now, I can't even get past this one because the Most High is telling Moshe to tell the priest how to cook the meat that he want to smell.
Right.
He giving them recipes. I was like, are you serious? He said, look, can you imagine? He said, only put 2/10 deal of fine flour, mingle it with a little oil. He said, then put it up on the barbecue grill, let it, burn it, do it with fire. You know what I'm saying? He said, and with drink offering, I want you to get some wine, can you imagine? He just want to smell it. Can you imagine? He just want to smell it. He said, and when drink offering, I want you to get some wine, can you imagine? He just want to smell it. Can you imagine? He just want to smell it. Can you imagine? He just want to smell it. Can you imagine? He just want to smell it. Can you imagine? He just want to smell it. Can you imagine? He just want to smell it. Can you imagine? He just want to smell it. Can you imagine? He just want to smell it. Can you imagine? He just want to smell it. Can you imagine? He just want to smell it. Can you imagine? He just want to smell it. Can you imagine? He just want to smell it. Can you imagine? He just want to smell it. Can you imagine? He just want to smell it. Can you imagine? He just want to smell it. Can you imagine? He just want to smell it. Can you imagine? He just want to smell it. Can you imagine? He just want to smell it. Can you imagine? He just want to smell it. Can you imagine? He just want to smell it. Can you imagine? He just want to smell it
That's a good sign to say that we the people. We the people.
No, he's telling you how to cook. He wants to smell it. A certain way, it has to be done according to the way that he told you to do it.
And it does smell good, too, when it's cooked.
You better believe it. You better say that.
Absolutely.
You better believe it. Yes, indeed. All right, here we go. Verse 14. Watch me say. And ye shall eat neither bread nor parched corn nor green ears until the same day. Hold on just a minute. That ye have brought an offering unto your Elohim. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generation in all your dwellings. And in verse 15, and ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that ye brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. All right. I know y'all want to get into that 7 Sabbaths, and we're on our way there, but I got to hit the barley harvest, because that was a big deal one year when we was trying to do one of the high holy days of Sabbath day. Everybody was talking about the barley harvest, and we got to do the barley harvest, so we want everybody to understand what the barley harvest is before we go any further. Anybody have any questions?
In the chat is some questions.
Yeah, I just wanted to say is that it's amazing how the Almighty put this all together. We can't get it wrong.
No, all you got to do is follow instructions, and Brother Donell, we couldn't have got it wrong back then, but they still wouldn't follow instructions. They wouldn't do it. Sister Lion, what's in the chat? We got questions in there?
I was being sarcastic.
I was over here looking for the books of the Bible that were missing, and I found
them. Okay.
In addition to the Apocrypha, there's 22 other books.
22 other books, okay. Mm-hmm. That are missing. Yes. All right. What's the questions we got in the chat?
Okay, I got to get back there. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay, I got it. Wait a minute.
He's telling them how to cook. Like, this is how I want you to do it, because this is how I want to smell it. I want just two things of flour. I'm going to mix it in a little oil and throw it up on the grill.
Don't that sound like a roux?
Nah, but guess what? One of the things he tell them, put a little salt on it too.
Right.
It sounds like the female version of the Most High telling them how to cook, but I ain't gonna mess with that.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna even mess with it, but I'm gonna leave that one completely alone.
I sure wish you would, though, because I'm interested to hear.
You know what we're gonna do? I think at the 2018 State of the Nation, we're gonna have the brother come. I'm gonna invite him to come to do that teaching, and then we're gonna put it on. We're gonna tape it and then put it up on YouTube.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to invite him to come down and be the guest speaker and do that teaching, and then we're going to put it up on YouTube.
And to the sister that
what's the teaching?
Sounds like a roux to me, too.
Okay, you know
like what?
That does sound like a roux, like the lady was saying.
Yeah, a little flour, a little oil.
Mm-hmm.
A pinch of salt.
Right.
That's how you want it. He said, that's how I want it. When you cook it like that, I want to smell it like that. All right, you ready, Sister Sanaya?
Sister Yaina, what happened was when I was in the other, I opened up another window and I accidentally left out that we're in, so I can't see it.
Okay, Sister Malcolm, what does it say?
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
What it says.
It was the guest, and the guest said, does that mean y'all allowed us to drink wine?
Yes, that does mean y'all allows us to drink wine. That's a whole other thing that the Christian church made you feel guilty about.
Yes, indeed.
They do make you are allowed to drink wine. It's like anything else. If you have a problem with alcohol and you're recovering from alcohol, I wouldn't suggest you start drinking it. But if you can drink it in moderation and it's not an issue for you, it's not a sin for you to drink wine.
You know, there's a lot of places in the scripture where it talks about the brother with the red eyes.
Right, sure do.
In the wine?
Who is that brother with the red eyes?
Yeshua.
All right. I just wanted to hear his name.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, everybody, there was something that, you know, it's not anything that's a sin. You know, it's only a problem if you cannot control yourself and do it in moderation. If you cannot do that and you're a recovering alcoholic, do not start drinking.
Wasn't Yeshua's first miracle turning wine from water to wine?
Yeah, and you know what? I heard another pastor, absolutely it was, and I heard another Hebrew Israelite pastor show a scripture where I forgot where he was talking about, but they went on some sort of I guess it was one of the high holy days, and that they were able to sit back and drink strong drink, you know, and the Most High told them they could. You know, he told me, that's why I drink my Jack Daniels, so y'all can talk about whatever you want to. But Christianity has done a number on us to make us think that those things are wrong and those things are sin. And we know that sin is, according to 1 John chapter 3, verse 4, that sin is the transgression of the law.
Absolutely. Right.
That's what sin is.
He mentioned the fruit of the vine.
Yes.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did mention the fruit of the vine. And that's wine.
Right. Yep.
You know?
Isn't there in there one place in there where they call him a bibber, a wine bibber or something like that?
Wine bibber.
And then there are some scriptures in the Bible that also talks about people who obsessively drink wine, you know, or gluttonous, you know, and stuff. So anything that you do, and you know that you're gluttonous in, that's food, that's wine, that's you know, anything that you're doing is in excess that you cause it to harm you. You shouldn't do it, because everybody. That's necessary to be able to say, I'm just going to have a glass of wine for dinner. You know, I'm going to have a glass of wine just to relax. You know, some people can't do that. So if you can't do it, don't do it. And guess what the Bible says? That if it offends my brother for me to do it in front of him, I'm not going to do it in front of you.
Do it, right.
You know, just like smoking cigarettes. I used to smoke cigarettes. And I remember when I stopped smoking cigarettes, it was difficult for me to be around people who did, because when coming off of that addiction, I wanted one when I smelled it. Now I don't feel that way, but then I did. So I didn't want to be around people that smoke, because I was trying to help myself wean myself off of it.
Right. Well, David had a flagon of wine in his hand when he brought the ark into the.
Yeah.
That's why he danced out his clothes. He's full of wine.
Even Paul told Timothy to drink a little bit.
For his stomach. That is good for the stomach. It is good for the stomach. Exactly. I mean, you know. But again, like I said, we've come into these places in this religion, and they have sold us some things that just is not according to Scripture. All right.
Wow.
Somebody else want to say something? Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say what you just said a few minutes ago. It just resonated with me so deeply a few minutes ago when you said that transgression, you know, sin is a transgression of the law. And just the night before, you know, the Most High was talking with me, and I could hear him just speaking into my spirit, and he was saying things to me about sin, about the different things, like you were just mentioning about how the church, you know, they said a lot of things, taught us a lot of things, and made a lot of things like it was a sin. And he spoke those very same things to me, and he went back and he said that if it's not written in my law, then it's not a sin, but you transgress against what I put in my law, then you'll sin against me.
That's right. That's as simple as it gets.
Yes. And what you just said to me was just like a confirmation to what he was speaking to me. Because there was a lot of things that I was having in my mind, and I was questioning over it. Okay, if you're doing this wrong, if you're doing that, if you're doing this. And I was asking him a lot of things. And then he said that those things that's in my law, those are things I require you to keep, but it's not in my law, then you cannot sin against me unless you transgress against what I'm written in my law. And when you thought that confirmed exactly that's what he said to me just I think last night. So
all right, hallelujah. And that's when you're free. You know, that's when you know you've been set free. When you can say, no, that's not a sin, and I'm not getting ready to have you hold me hostage with that, and I'm not going to feel guilty about that, because that's not what sin is. Sin is the transgression of the law. So we not breaking no laws. I ain't breaking no laws with y'all. I'm going to live my life. And you get to live your life. They had us walking around like monks. You know, you got to just be pious and be don't see nothing wrong and
But they were doing wrong. And
you were doing wrong. Guess what? Because
they were doing wrong.
And you weren't too, because we still wasn't keeping the law.
Amen.
All that righteousness was self-righteousness because we still were sinning because we were not keeping the law.
Okay.
And that leads to a lot of confusion. I actually heard a pastor who knows Israel, and he was delivering a message. And I said, this man, it's so sad that they really just, I pray for them, but he said that the Lord did, and then said some other things, and then said what messes us up is and separates us from the Most High is sin. Excuse me. That doesn't make sense. If you told me the law is done away with, then what is sin?
Exactly.
And it's confusing for them because they're not seeking that. Doesn't. So then what is sin? If you're telling me sin separates me from the Most High, you now need to tell me what sin is. And no one is asking that question.
No,
and it doesn't make any sense.
It's the same thing for tithes and offerings.
Oh,
they say the law is done away with, but they
want the money.
Tithes, you're cursed with a curse. But it's a principle. That doesn't even make sense.
Don't make no sense.
If it's a principle, how am I cursed with a curse?
Exactly.
Right.
That's
the last thing we need to hear, that we're more cursed and don't have an explanation on why we curse, because they'll tell us quick, you curse, you ham, you this, you're a Gentile. I mean, all this bad news. Where's the good news?
But guess what? Because you know the truth, and we have and guess how you know it? By reading this word and by studying this word. And when you know who the Most High is and why He gave His people the law and what it means to Him and how important it is that we keep it, when you hear the kind of stuff that come out of those pastors' mouths, you just laugh now because you know it's not real.
Right.
That's how you know it's not real. And I don't care how sanctified and how anointment they think they are. And I said that on purpose, anointment. They think they anointment, okay? And I know the right word, but I'm just being sarcastic. They think they anoint them in it. No matter how much they think they have all that, it's not real.
You're missing something. You got to have the money.
Everything we're supposed to do.
Right.
You missed one point. The more money you have, the more anointing. So you got to have the money too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
But then they tell us. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, those are the things that you know by studying. That's why the scripture tell you to study to show thyself approved. A workman need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. And when you got that down, you can walk and be like, no, that ain't real. That's not true. It's not right.
Yeah.
And then you go before one of them and you ask them a question, and they don't know it. And it's like, how do you not know this? And you're preaching.
Right.
How do you not understand this? And you're preaching to the people. Because all the Most High calls, He qualifies. So how are you not knowing this? But because
they
don't know better, they get away with it.
They know what they want to teach us. I mean, what they don't want, they want to keep it in the dark and play ignorant to it. And like they tell us that the law is done away with. They preachers preaching the law is done away with. But then when it comes down to that tithe, it's done away with. But they're still holding their hands out to the tithe. So what part of the law is done away with then? You know what I'm saying? This is
the part that's going to condemn them to what they're doing. They don't want to talk about it. But the part that makes them rich, that's the part they want you to keep. And they instill fear. Because if you don't give it, the devourer is coming, and he's going to eat up all your stuff, and you're going to...
This is why they don't allow you to ask no questions, you understand? Because when you don't ask no questions, you don't get no answers. They can tell you anything. They can say anything. You understand? And those that are not knowledgeable, you understand? They think that that's brilliant. He said something brilliant. You understand? But in essence, he did not say anything brilliant because he didn't clarify what he was saying, you understand, to make it make sense to anybody that knows.
No, they don't know, Brother Doniak, because you can get it off when they don't know. And if they don't read, because most of them say, well, I'll just get it from my pastor. I'll ask my pastor.
Okay.
And the Bible tells you clearly to study to show yourself approved. But even with this, even with all this, they can't see it until they realize that they're Israel. All right, let's go to the barley harvest. Here we go. Check this out. The barley harvest. Let me move. It's the spring harvest. It's the various herbs and whatever were harvested in the spring. But the most important spring crops were cereals. It was barley and wheat. Newly harvested grains could not be eaten until the first fruit of the grain had been offered on the day after the Sabbath of the festival of unleavened bread. Pentecost, near the end of the grain harvest, included grain and loaf offerings. Pentecost was also called the Feast of Harvest. All right, Exodus chapter 23, 14 through 17. This is where the men have to come up to Israel 3 times a year. Exodus 23, 14 through 17. It said, 3 times thou shalt keep a feast unto me in the year. Thou shalt keep the feast of unleavened bread. Thou shalt eat unleavened bread 7 days, as I command thee. In the time appointed of the month of Abib, for in it thou camest out from Egypt, and none shall appear before me empty. And the feast of harvest, the first fruit of thy labor, which thou hast sown in the field. And in the feast of ingathering, which is in the end of the year, when thou hast gathered in thy labors out of the field. 3 times in the year all thy males shall appear before the Most High Elohim. So we're going to get this right. So we got the feast of, thou shalt keep the feast of unleavened bread. Thou shalt eat unleavened bread 7 days, as I commanded thee. We just came off of that. In the time appointed of the month of Abib, for in it thou camest out of Egypt, and none shall appear before me empty. And the feast of harvest, the first fruit of thy labor which thou hast sown in the field. And the feast of ingathering, which is in the end of the year, when thou hast gathered in labor out of the field. 3 times in the year all thy males shall appear before the Most High Elohim. Any questions? So the men had to go.
Okay.
Not the
Where's
women.
the money? Where's the money involved?
Right. Look, don't get me started, okay? I'm telling you. All right, here we go. Planted in the autumn. Barley and wheat were planted in the autumn and ripened in spring. Barley matures faster and would be harvested sooner. Barley, the first fruit of grain offered during the festival of unleavened bread, would have been barley. The barley harvest, first fruit, presented to the Most High in Leviticus 23, 9 through 14. Leviticus chapter 23, verses 9 through 14. And the Most High spake unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye be come into the land which I give unto you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, then ye shall bring a sheaf of the first fruit of your harvest unto the priest, and he shall wave the sheaf before the Most High to be accepted for you. On the morrow after the Sabbath the priest shall wave it. We just read this. And ye shall offer that day, when ye wave the sheaf, a he-lamb without blemish of the first year, for a burnt offering unto the Most High. And the meat offering thereof shall be 2 tenths deal of fine flour, mingled with oil, and an offering made by fire, unto the Most High for a sweet savor. And the drink thereof shall be of wine of the 4th part of a hin. And ye shall eat neither bread, nor parched corn, nor green ear, until the selfsame day that ye have brought an offering unto your Elohim. It shall be a statute. This is one of his statutes. Forever throughout your generation in all your dwelling. Remember, he said, I want you to keep my laws, my statutes, and my commandments. So this is a statute.
Yeah, those feast days are tied to the rain.
Yes, sir. And that's what it means in Malachi when he said, I'm going to open up the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing that you don't have room to receive. That was talking about agriculture. Right. That was talking about rain. Right. So that we would have crops because we were agricultural people. That was the wealth what we had. We grew our own food.
When they do right, you bring the rain. You bring the former rain and the latter rain. When they don't do right, you cut the rain off. Like you did with the night.
Exactly. And knowing this, that makes you understand that the scriptures that they use to condemn you for not giving them your money was all a ploy.
Right. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that again?
We were agricultural people. We grew our own food. This is what the Most High wanted us to bring before Him, because He blessed the land for us to be able to grow our own food. We made sacrificial offerings unto Him with the animals that we had, and this is how we were able to do that. And like Brother Leonard said, He brought the former rain in the beginning to bless to grow the crops, and the latter rain. If you did not do well, He kept the rain back.
Right. Yeah, the only time money was involved.
Go ahead, brother.
He asked for the first fruit. He said the first fruit of the harvest. He also asked for the first fruit of the firstborn of the animal. So
that's right.
He said that he sacrificed Egypt as a ransom. So how did he sacrifice Egypt? He killed the firstborn in Egypt.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Absolutely. That is so true.
Right.
And then, like Brother Kevin was saying, what was you saying about the money?
I said the only time money was involved, he said if you live far away and you couldn't make it and you had too much stuff to bring, you exchanged it for money, and then when you get there, you exchange the money for goods. So it was never about money.
That was the money of the sanctuary, the shekel of the sanctuary.
And guess what? That's what they use to keep you paying them so they can preach to you the stuff they're preaching.
But that was done annually. That wasn't done every week. It was done annually.
I'm saying, when you know what the story is, then you won't fall for the okie doke.
Yeah, I want to also say, and this might be off topic for a minute, but it's about, we were an industrious people. You understand? We did husbandry. You understand? Carpentry. We had all those good things. Because when they came and got us, they came and got all of the people that the ones that could produce for them, for the Europeans. You understand? They came and got the peoples that could produce.
That's right. And then you know what? That's why I said, knowing, because the people in the church don't know who they are, and they don't understand the significance of them being Israel and what is required of them by the Most High, they can get that out. They can tell them anything they wanted to tell them, because I remember when the Most High told me to stop paying tithes, He said, don't give them another dime. Right. And everybody looked at me like, oh, my God, you getting ready to be cursed. And you
really should have brought them a chicken.
You know? They waited for the boom to drop, and it was like, okay, I'm not cursed, I'm still fine, you know? And they, Lord, girl, He's gonna come down on you. It ain't gonna be this and the other. Now, I granted you, when I stopped serving Lucifer in the agenda that the church brings, I caught some fallback, but guess what? I'm standing today, and I'm glad to be here knowing the truth.
Okay.
Yep. The truth, because when you know better, you do better. You're just not getting my money. That's why I told y'all I want my money back. More than money.
Me too. Right? That's a good movie to watch. It's called Sunday.
Me too.
You saw that movie Come Sunday?
What you say the movie is called?
It's called Come Sunday. It's about Carlton Pearson. So you do a comparison and contrast with Nat Turner, Birth of a Nation, and ain't nothing changed.
No, No, and it hasn't, and it ain't gonna. Because it's ran by a certain deity, and they're doing whatever they do to keep it going. And the Most High told us when we came we was going to serve other gods. Right. And they got it going on there to make you feel like you're doing right. And the righteousness that they're serving up is self-righteousness, because the only way you're righteous is you keep his laws, his statutes, his commandments. He gave us those laws to govern us as a nation on how to act, to be set apart from everyone else, and these are part of the things that we're supposed to do in order to be obedient. It's simple as that.
What do you think? What do you think Pueblo Dollar would say? You understand? As everybody brought up a field of chickens,
he would tell you he can't pay his rent with no chickens. I'm telling you that right now. All right,
actually.
One moment. He said, and ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that ye brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. It says, even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall ye number 50 days, and ye shall offer a new meat offering unto the Most High. And ye shall bring out of your habitations 2 wave loaves of 2 tenths deal. They shall be of fine flour, and they shall be baken with leaven. They are the first fruits unto the Most High. Any questions? Or somebody was going to say something. I heard a woman talking.
I have a question.
Well, yeah, actually, I was just going to say, as it pertains to Creflo Dollar, he has actually been teaching that we do not have to tithe, but that it's a good thing. And he had to do that because he's pulling people away from the law, the Bible, period. So he had to say, okay, well, tithing is not a requirement. So now he does teach that.
Again, but you've been lying all these years telling us it was.
Right. Well, but
how you
he got enough money. He got enough money now.
Exactly. I don't have to give you my money, and I don't have to give you all my money. What do you need a jet for?
Exactly. Exactly. I want my money back too, but it's just the key thing. What I'm trying to say here about him, though, is he's pulling people from the Bible, period. So he had to let that go because that's something that he pulled off from the Bible. So he had to let it go because he's taking them out the scriptures altogether. I sat in his church for a while. My husband and I walked out one day, and I would say for the longest time, I said, he just need to say, this is the word according to Creflo. And now I'm hearing he is basically everything he reads, he says, oh, that's not really what it was. That's not really what it was. That's the major thing. So he had to teach that we no longer had to talk because he's pulling people out the Bible, period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those Hebrew Israelites on YouTube are getting at them, too.
Yeah, they were. They're getting at all of them.
So this like the preaching the truth.
Yeah, they are. They can't get That's why we don't knock our brothers on the street corner, because everybody has a part to play. Some of them are a little rough around the edges, but at the end of the day, people are listening to them and they taking that stuff back to their pastors. They say, wait a minute, hold on, this say this. They finally read. They say, wait, this don't say that, this say this. So where you get this from?
Okay. Especially the money thing. Especially the money.
And they lose the members, too.
Right. Yes,
they lose the members because it's going to be a great falling away.
Right. Well, I volunteer kind of at a church that I used to go to. So they have like a warehouse there. So I volunteer and give my services there. And there is so many lies being taught in the church now. They can't teach much anymore. So the people are coming out every Sunday, because I'm there on Sunday. Every Sunday I go, oh, what was your sermon about? Because I do it because I want to know. And they go, oh, it was the same thing as last week. We really don't get to hear anything. So the people are getting weary.
And they tired.
Shouldn't have let them.
Since magic is coming, they got to do with else, so it's got to be magic, so that the people will be like, oh my gosh, that is God. They bringing magic. That's coming.
You should have let them Negroes read.
You know that Snoop Dogg got the #1 gospel record?
I heard that too. I heard that.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me get this. We're going to do this at the end of the show, y'all. Hold on. We're going to get it at the end of the show. Hold on. All right,
Okay.
Ruth chapter 1. Hold that, Brother Leonard. I'm going to let you talk about that at the end of the show. Ruth chapter 1 talks about the barley. It says, so in Ruth chapter 1, verse 22, it says, Naomi returned, and Ruth the Moabite, her daughter-in-law, with her, watch, which returned out of the country of Moab, and they came to Bethlehem in the beginning of the barley harvest. So the barley harvest was a big deal. 2 Samuel 21, verse 1 through 9. Verse 21. Then there was a famine in the days of Dawid 3 years, year after year. And Dawid inquired of the Most High, and the Most High answered, it is for Saul and for his bloody house, because he slew the Gibeonites. Verse 2. And the king called the Gibeonites and said unto them, now the Gibeonites were not of the children of Israel, but of the remnant of the Amorites. Watch. And the children of Israel had sworn unto them, and Saul sought out to slay them in his zeal to the children of Israel and to Yehudah. It said, wherefore Dawid said unto the Gibeonites, what shall I do for you? And wherewithal shall I make the atonement, that ye may bless the inheritance of the Most High? And the Gibeonites said unto him, we will have no silver nor gold of Saul, nor of his house. Neither for us shalt thou kill any men in Israel. And he said, what ye shall say, that will I do for you. And they answered the king, the man that consumed us, and that devised against us, that we should be destroyed from remaining in any of the coast of Israel, let 7 men of his sons be delivered unto us, and we will hang them upon the Most High in Gibeah of Saul, whom the Most High did choose. And the king said, I will give them. But the king spared Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, because of the Most High's oath that was between them, between Dawid and Jonathan, the son of Saul.
Mm-hmm.
But the king took the 2 sons of Rizpah, the daughter of Ai, whom she bare unto Saul, Aramoni, and Mephibosheth, and the 5 sons of Milcah, the daughter of Saul, whom she brought up for Adriel of the son of Barzillai, the Mehuelite, whatever that is. I'm not even going to try to mess with that one. And he delivered them into the hands of the Gibeonites, and they hanged them in the hill before the Most High.
Okay,
and they fell all 7 together and were put to death in the days of the harvest, in the first days in the beginning of the barley harvest.
Where the scar is. You know?
Any questions?
How the hell am I supposed to know where the scar is?
Hello? Somebody got to put their phone on mute. I think I hear somebody cussing. Please put your phone on mute.
That sounds real cruel, I think, but I know Most High's got to do what he got to do.
I do what he got to do. He keeps his word. No matter, you know what I'm saying, sis? They did something they didn't have no business doing. Saul killed off the Gibeonites, which he wasn't told to do, and as a result, they said, we want 7 of his sons.
Right.
Did you see the part where it said? Did you see the part where it said no rain? No rain. That's what you were just talking about. Yeah.
Right.
They broke the law. Well, they disobeyed, and no rain came.
No rain.
Right.
Because we were agricultural people. We grew our own food. That's how the Most High punished us. Wasn't he didn't take your money away and then nobody come eat your bank account up. Here's another one about the Father. Leviticus 27:16. And if a man shall sanctify unto the Most High some part of a field of his possession, then by estimation shall be according to the seed thereof. A homer of barley seed shall be valued at 50 shekels of silver. Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 1 through 8. Here we go. Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 1 through 8. It says, verse 1, all the commandments which I command thee this day shall ye observe to do, that ye may live and multiply. And go in and possess the land. Most High swear. Whoever it is, called in, please put your phone on mute. Please put your phone on mute. Hold on a minute, you guys. I'm going to have to put their phone on mute. Give me 1 minute. I don't know who this is, but their phone is very loud. Okay, I think I got it. All right, here we go. Let's go back to it. Let me get it back up here. All right, here we go. All right, verse 2. And thou shalt, let me give it, I'm going to do Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 1 through 8. It says, and thou shalt remember all the ways which the Most High thy Elohim led thee these 40 years in the wilderness. This is verse 2. To humble thee, to prove thee, to know what was in thine heart, whether thou wouldest keep his commandments or no. Verse 3, he humbled thee and suffered hunger. You hear that? Mm-hmm. He humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man doeth not live by bread only, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High doeth man live.
Oh, yeah.
Verse 4, thy raiment waxed not old upon thee, neither did thy foot swell these 40 years. Verse 5, thou shalt also consider in thy heart that as a man chastens his son, so the Most High thy Elohim chasteneth thee. Verse 6, therefore thou shalt keep the commandments of the Most High thy Elohim, to walk in his ways, and to fear him. Verse 7, for the Most High thy Elohim bringeth thee into a good land, a land of brooks of water, of fountains, and of depths, that spring out of valleys and hills. Verse 8, a land of wheat and barley and vines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of olive oil and honey. All right, any other questions? This barley harvest is something that's very, very significant in our nation and when we're in our own land. All right, verse 4, 1 Kings chapter 4, verse 28. Barley was also used for food for the horses. It says, 1 Kings chapter 4, verse 28. Barley also and straw for the horses and dromedaries brought they unto the place where the officers were, every man according to his charge. 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 38. One moment, please. And Elisha came again to Gilgal, and there was a certain dearth in the land, and the sons of the prophets were sitting before him. And he said unto his servants, set on the great pot, and seeth pottage for the sons of the prophet. And one of them went out into the field to gather herbs. One moment. And found a wild vine, and gathered thereof wild gourds, his lap full. So they got water boiling. He bringing in wild vines and gourds, and came and shewed them unto the pot of storage, for they knew them not. Watch what they say. So they poured out for the men to eat. And it came to pass, as they were eating of the pottage, that they cried out and said, O thou man of Elohim, there is death in the pot. And they said, and they could not eat thereof. They said, we can't eat this. This is nasty. We're going to end up dying eating this, right? But he said, then bring meal. And he cast it into the pot, and he said, pour out for the people, that they may eat. And there was no harm in the pot. And there came a man from Baalshalisha, and brought the man of the Elohim bread of the first fruit, 20 loaves of barley, and full ears of corn in the husk thereof. And he said, give unto the people, that they may eat. And his servitor said, what should I set this before 100 men? And he said again, give the people, that they may eat. For thus saith the Most High, they shall eat and shall leave thereof. So he set it before them, and they did eat and left thereof according to the word of the Most High. So they had the money, they had the food there, the barley. He had enough to feed 100 people with what that man brought. All right, here's another reference for the barley. This is in the New Testament. This is John chapter 6, verse 9 through 14. It said, there was a lad here which had 5 barley loaves and 2 small fish. What are they among so many? Hold on. And then the Messiah said, make the men sit down. Now there was much grass in the place, so the men sat down in a number of 5,000. And the Messiah took the loaves, and he gave thanks.
You're echoing.
Hey, you put your phone on mute, please. And the disciples to them that were set down, and likewise the fish as much as they would. Verse 12. When they were filled, he said unto his disciples, gather up the fragments that remain, that nothing be lost. Therefore they gathered them together and filled 12 baskets with the fragments of the 5 barley loaves which remained over and above unto them that had eaten. Then those men, when they had seen the miracle that the Messiah did, said, this is of a truth, that prophet that should come into the world. All right, any questions? This is our next section. We'll go into this next week. I wanted to leave us some time for us to have a conversation, about this barley and all this stuff. All of this stuff was a part of the Feast of First Fruit. Those are the things that we had when the Feast of First Fruit.
How long did that last?
The Feast of First Fruit, I don't think it was a 7-day. It was just a day that they did it. And then they had to count so many days. Hold on, let me make sure. I thought I had covered that. They had to count so many days before the next one. Let me find out for you. I thought I had covered it.
Wasn't it 49 days or 7 weeks, and then you have the Feast of Shavuot?
It was 7 Sabbaths.
Yeah, so that's 7 weeks. Because
I think it was 7 Sabbaths.
The feast didn't last 7 weeks.
No, just count 7 weeks, and you should
right until the next one.
And
that's the days of Omer. The days of the Omer. That's 49 days, 7 weeks and a day.
Right.
Which is 50.
Feast of
Shavuot. 50
Shavuot.
days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So you had the feast. And then you had to count so many days until the next feast came up, whether it was the Feast of Pentecost or the Feast of Ripened Fruit or whatever it was. But I think it was just a day. It wasn't. We weren't commanded to keep it.
So you are, aren't you?
I mean, like 7 days, like the unleavened bread. We were supposed to keep, but the men were the one who had to go up for that particular feast.
Right, but I'm just saying, after 7 weeks, you should end up with the Feast of First Fruits or whatever you just called it.
Right.
Which is Shavuot, I think. So, yeah.
So it was just a 1 day. Somebody asked, how long was it? It was just a day feast. It was just one of those feasts that you did in a day.
So you're talking about wave sheaf, Yaina? One of the days, and then 49 days after that, we have another feast.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
And that's the Feast of Pentecost. That's the Feast of Harvest or whatever it was called.
Okay. So now can we practice that even in captivity?
Yes, you can. Well, you can't do the wave sheaf because the priest was the one who had to do that.
Exactly. Okay.
All of this is similar to, you understand?
Okay.
I got something a little interesting.
Okay, well, hold on. Brother Kevin, go ahead.
No, I said I got something very interesting I found out this week based on what you read earlier about being humble. In the Septuagint, Genesis chapter 15 and 13, when the Most High is talking to Abraham, he says, know for sure that your seed shall go in a land that is not their own, and they shall enslave them and afflict them and humble them 400 years.
Oh, okay.
So we know, based on what our forefathers did, this captivity was to humble us.
Yeah, buddy, it did too. It really did.
Yeah.
It humbled us to a point that we can't even imagine. It humbled us.
Yeah, I just found that caught my attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you know you're not supposed to be broke and on food stamps, that's humbling.
Right.
That is very humbling.
Out. Very not.
I know we're supposed to be suffering, at least not suffering, but I know we're not supposed to be having it easy in this 400-year captivity, but if you're not doing bad, is that like a sign maybe, okay, you got to have some really, really hard times, like, say, all the people shot by the cops or something?
I wasn't always doing that. I haven't always done bad. I mean, it just depends on where the Most High has you, because you have to be able to reach people where you at. You know what I'm saying? Somebody told me that one time. They said, Yaina, the Most High is getting ready to bless you with something. He said he's going to bless you with substance. And you're not going to want to take it because you're going to be content where you are, but he needs you to move in certain arenas and be around certain people of wealth. So in order for you to do that, you have to be there. And you're going to go ahead and move because it's something that he needs to have you there for you to be able to do that. Now, I'm not there now, but I've been to the point where I've been comfortable, and I didn't feel guilty about it, and you shouldn't, because guess what? We all going to leave here rich when it's all over with anyway.
Well, hallelujah, but I was just mainly speaking like, for instance, I see all the people getting shot by the cops and having run-ins with the police, and I'm like, I know I'm blessed, but I'm like, man, I mean, I haven't had that kind of issue.
You probably haven't had that in your life, but you can still have that sadness.
Oh, it is.
Like last week, I just broke down, it was just too much, and I can get overwhelmed. And I just sit there and I just weep.
Yeah.
So that's not, and I'm comfortable, but that's not, I'm still not comfortable with all that going on. People that you love.
Yeah, a good way to look at that is remember, like in the 60s, the 70s, even in the 80s, people used to, colored folks used to riot in the streets. They used to fight back. They used to do a lot of things.
Right.
Stand up for themselves and stuff, but look at us now. This is how we know we're at the end. We've been humbled all the way down to all we do is march now. We don't put up a fight. We don't do nothing. We just let them do whatever they want to do. So the goal was to humble us.
That brings me to my point of being destroyed. We were destroyed to the point where we gave up everything and we accepted where we at.
Right. Because we realized nothing else worked. Right, because nothing else worked. And that humbling point that is turning us back to the Most High. And to the sister's question, the one thing that I saw, especially for those of us who were in the church, when you try to live according to the scriptures, even without knowledge, for those of us who were in the church and were serious about it, we didn't involve ourselves in sin. We were seeking deliverance. That's right. And any time you follow the Most High's ways, you are out of the grasp of the enemy. Okay. And so some of the things that our people are going through, well, a lot of it is because of sin. Because they're sinning, so they're susceptible to sin, to destruction. So the less we sin, the better we are. And I think that speaks a lot to those of us who are not in, who are doing okay, because we're making right choices. When we look at even the imposters, those of them who are actually following the principles, they get the reward.
Well, I mean, then guess what? You have some people that's following the principles, and they still not doing okay. The Most High has a reason why he does everything, and we just have to be okay with him chastising and doing what it is he's doing and move forward, because he's going to have, the rich will always be with us and the poor will always be with us.
That's right. He said wherever we find ourselves, we're supposed to be content. Right. As long as we know we're not doing wrong, and wherever you find yourself, you'll be all right with that, because the steps of a good man are ordered by the Most High. That's a very good point.
Right.
That's the hard part.
But does that go towards the remnant? That only one person says. Okay.
It's everybody, all of us. Everybody's born into different arenas in life. Some people have been born with a silver spoon in their mouth. Even Israel. We all are not at the bottom, and but it's like you said, it still don't mean you don't face the pain. You still gonna get called a nigger no matter how rich you are.
Right.
Okay? Right. You still gonna get treated like that no matter how rich you are. They may not say it, but no matter how much you have, you still in the same captivity that everybody else is in.
Right, Bill Cosby.
Exactly. I mean, he done did wrong.
Bill Cosby, for example.
He did wrong, but he ain't the only one that's been did wrong. Because like the girl said, Harvey Weinstein went into rehab. Bill Cosby going to jail.
Right. Trump's still in office. So hey.
You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. You gonna suffer one way or the other.
Wow. Somebody brought up a really good point. The lady who lied about Emmett Till back in the day, she confessed. She's 83, and they didn't do nothing to her. He lost his life.
They burnt that man up. That's terrible.
Yes,
right.
But this guy, he's going to jail off of with no evidence.
Well,
he's convicted with no evidence.
He confessed, though, and he did do it. He confessed to doing it. But the thing is, if you're going to have one law for one, have one law for everybody. But we know that that's not true. And this is the things that we have to watch as a people and face as a people. Now, hold on, you guys. I want to get to this question in the chat. This person's been asking for me. All right, here we go. The question in the chat, Sister Sanaya, is what now?
Okay, guest in the chat asked, does the 16th verse direct another 50-day count?
Okay, let's read it. We're in Leviticus chapter 23. Okay, here we go. We're going to start from the beginning. Ready? It says, and the Most High spake unto Moshe, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, concerning the feast of the Most High, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts. Holy convocation means we have to come together, like you having a Thanksgiving dinner. This is what that means. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest, a holy convocation, which is what we're doing right now. Ye shall do no work therein. It is Sabbath of the Most High in all your dwellings. These are the feasts of the Most High, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their season. In the 14th day of the first month at even is the Most High's Passover, which we just went through. On the 15th day, the very next day of the same month, is the Feast of Unleavened Bread unto the Most High. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread. We just did that one. In the first day ye shall have a holy convocation. We still in unleavened bread. Ye shall do no servile work therein. But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High 7 days. In the 7th day is a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. Now, we were not in our land, so we couldn't offer an offering by fire. We did this as a memorial because we are in captivity. But we came together on the first day, and we came together on the 7th day.
That's all that's required.
That's required. Now, we are now verse 9. And the Most High spake unto Moshe, saying, here go another feast. Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when ye be come into the land which I give unto you, and ye shall reap the harvest thereof, then ye shall bring a sheaf of the first fruit of your harvest unto the priest. And he shall wave the sheaf before the Most High to be accepted for you. On the morrow after the Sabbath, the priest shall wave it. This is after you come into the land, you sprinkled the seed down, the seed is grown up, and you get your sheaf. And ye shall offer that day when ye wave the sheaf a he-lamb without blemish of the first year for a burnt offering unto the Most High. And the meat offering thereof shall be 2/10 deal of flour mingled with oil, an offering made by fire unto the Most High for a sweet savor. And the drink offering thereof shall be of wine, the 4th part of a hin. And ye shall eat neither bread, nor parched corn, nor green ears, unto the selfsame day that ye have brought an offering unto your Elohim. And it shall be a statute forever throughout your generations. It says, and ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that ye brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. Even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath, ye shall number 50 days, and ye shall offer a new meat offering unto the Most High. Is that answering your question?